Hello everyone, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are going to be covering the soft body simulation and also the cloth physics in a quick video today. So as you can see, the showcase video in the screen, just going to be showing you how to create something similar and how to use those parameters to get the desired effect. Yeah, so if you're excited to run this, let's just dive right into it. Alright, so right here in Blender, I'm just going to scale this cube. As to scale, I'm just going to take it 0.5, and I'm going to bring in Shift A, bring in my plane, and so just as to scale it a little bit bigger than this, right? And then select the cube, press G to grab on the Z axis, maybe set it up to like 2, value of 2, and enter. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly set my physics, go to the physics panel, click on the physics panel, you're going to see your soft body. So click on soft body on that. And once you play, you have this floating in the air, right? Like it's hovering. So you need to just stop that, go back to frame 1, and make sure you uncheck this goal right here. And when you press play, it drops down right through the plane. So now we need to select the plane and add a collision object to the plane. So once we play again, it drops on the plane, right? And you have this bouncy effect, right? So, and it collapses, right? Awesome. So why do you think it collapsed now? Because rigid body works with also high division mesh. So when I go to edit mode, you can see I have just 4 points. So when I right click on it and I subdivide, so make sure your mesh is selected, right? Let me add some more subdivision and think it's okay. So when I go back to object mode and I press play, you can see I have this cube squashing into like a fabric, right? So I'm going to stop this and take it back to frame 1. So let's go and check some more settings in our soft body. So just go to your self collision to make the mesh collide on each other without penetrating each other, right? So let's play. You will have this happening, right? Not bad. So let's go back to the physics. So open the settings on the edge, right? So on bending, we're going to input a value of 5. So that's going to make the soft body harder than it was before. So just press play and see. You can see, right? Okay, so I'm going to add a bevel modifier. Just go here and click on add a modifier and just type bevel, BEVE, and this one. So I'm trying to avoid having those sharp edges for the cube. So adding a bevel is going to give this crease to it. So I'm just going to go with one more offset here and go with like 2 more offset here, and then I'm okay with this, right? I'll right click and shade smooth, so I have something finer, right? So when I press play, I have this bouncing effect, right? So cool. Okay, so let's go back to the physics tab, click on the physics, and then so there's a setting here called pull and push. This affects the bounciness of the soft body. So when I go higher, like say let's say 0.8, right? For pull and push, let's say 0.8 here, and I go back to play this, you can see it's more bouncy, right? So let me just press R to rotate. Let me double tap R to give it free rotation, and I have it falling this way, right? And I press play, you see it's bouncing, right? So when I stop it and I take the value back down to maybe 0.2 and enter, and I go back to frame 1 and I play, you can see we don't have that much bounciness to the cube, right? So fine, I'm just gonna take it back to the default, which is 0.5, I guess. Yeah, 0.5 on push, 0.5 on pull. So we have some level bounciness, right? Yeah, so awesome. So now there's one more thing that we can do here. When we go down, we see there's a box called stiffness. You can check that box. So it basically makes the simulation stiff, just like the name implies, stiffness. So it makes it way harder, almost like a cube, but you still have this jelly-like feel to the cube, right? It's hard, but it's not hard. So now let's apply let's create a new object, go to mesh, create like a UV sphere, right? I'm just going to scale this down a little bit and just bring it up. Just take it to the side, the y-axis, right? Yeah, so let's have this. Let's just move this plane a little bit this way, right? So I'm just going to basically apply a soft body to this as well. Uncheck the goal, go to the edges, and just let's see the value of 4 for the bending. Let's check self collision and stiffness. So let me right click to shade smooth, right? So I'm just going to play this. You can see two different object, right? But we're having two different vibe to it. So I'm just gonna like cram down this my end frame to, let's say, around here 112, right? So let's play this. Yeah, you can see the ball is a little bit soft. So to make this ball like way harder, like a basketball, right? So the value you need to play with, it's either the pull and push, you have the bending, and you have the stiffness. So stiffness is checked. So let's say I want to make this ball harder, like a bounce, like a basketball. I can just go to the bending and increase it to like 7, right? And let's play to see. So it makes it a little bit harder, right? It still doesn't not make so much changes to that. So let's go to the push and pull and put 0.9 and push 0.9 and enter. So let's see what we have here. So let's play and see. So you can see. Yeah, so you can see when you make a new changes to your parameters, right? It refreshes the bake and it takes time to bake. So let me just stop my plane. So you can see there's a yellow orange bar here while this plane is loading. It's kind of like temporarily baking the simulation so that when it comes back to play again, it runs very smooth, right? And you see your frame, your FPS here, it's red at 4 FPS. So after doing that, you can see now the FPS is at 25, 24, 26. So it plays like in real time. You play back, so you can see we have the ball looking very hard. So we could also make this jelly, this cube look more softer, right? I can just stop this, select the cube, just basically I can turn off stiffness, right? And maybe increase my bending. So basically just play with the parameters to get the desired feel that you would prefer. You can see this looking very jelly, right? So and then there's an issue here. When this cube like bend this way, I'm having this sharp shape showing here. So I can just erase that with a subdivision surface modifier, right? You can see it's smoother now. And just increase the level viewport to like 2, so we have a more finer bend. You get? So when we take it back to play, we have this. You see, right? Yeah. So basically, that's just how to go about it. So let me assume you have like a lot of object, right? I can duplicate this, right? Shift D, Z axis, take it up, right? Shift D, Z axis, take it up, right? So when I play this, it's going to take a lot of time to cache. You can see it's literally kind of slow, and once it's done, it's going to play real time. But now we have a new problem, right? You would say that the objects are colliding into each other, like they are not having that collision object on it. So when I play, you can see, which does not look realistic. So you could solve that by 2 ways. You can either just go to your physics tab and add a collision object, right, to your objects. You can do that, right? But tell you what, so the more collision object you apply to each of your object, right, the more you take a toll on your hardware and it takes longer to bake. So when I press play, you can see it's way slower than before. It's way slower, but this time it's going to respect the collision on each of the objects. So let me allow it to just drop for a while. So for these cubes, it might not be perfect because the edges are hard, and I realize in simulation when the edges are hard, right, it tends to have some level of penetration. So you'd have to go and tweak on some collision parameters to get the desired feel you want, right? So I'll just stop this here, right, and just take it back and play. So you can see they are now colliding each other. You can see they're colliding, right? Yeah, so now I have a faster way I'm going to show you, right? So I'm going to just take it back to frame 1 and just delete this for object here. Press X to clear this. So I'm just going to go to let's say this sphere, right? I can just shift duplicate it. So we go to edit mode on the sphere and it's already selected, right? So just shift D in edit mode. I can take it up on the Z axis, right? And do another duplicate, right? Just try this way. And then what this does is that it also carries the attribute of the self collision, which is this, to each of the objects. So when I go to object mode, right, they are all one object, meaning they are going to respect their self collision, right? So this is going to save you some render time and cache time. So when I press play to play this, right, it's faster than previous simulation speed that we have. So let's have them collide with each other and see the behavior. Okay, so I'll just stop it right here and let's take it back. You can see they're still colliding, right? So this is just a kind of a cheesy way to optimize your rigid body simulation, right? So now there's one more thing right here. So let's say you've done a lot of this object, right, and you don't have the time to wait to have this bake temporarily, because when you do any settings it's going to change. But let's say you want to save the simulation, right, so you can do other things in your scene. So this leads us to the cache right here where you can bake your simulation, right? So we're basically just going to set the end of the frame to mine is at 108, right, which is right here, 108. So we're just going to, since we have like multiple objects, we're going to use bake all dynamics. But when you have just one object in your scene, you can use just bake. So in this case, I'm going to be using the bake all dynamics, right? And you just click on that button. So down here, you're going to see your progress bar. So I'm just going to fast forward this part of the video because it's going to take quite a while, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're right back. It's done baking. So I realized that when you have like multiple object, right, you need to select them like this. It's a group, right? I'll select this and then I'm going to change the end to 108. So you also need to select the second object, right, and also change it to 108. You can see this is at 250, so else it's going to bake the whole 250 timeline. So just have that in mind. So now when I go back to M1 and I play, right, you can see it plays in real time. You can see my FPS, right? It's not lagging. Yeah, so we have this saved, right? We can basically move freely in our scene without having any lag in our scene, right? So you can see it's falling down already. Okay, so quickly let's go to the easy jelly shader that I created. So just go to your shading tab and add a new material, which is already added here, right? It's just very simple. So pick any color of your jelly you'd like. So I'm going to pick this for this. I'm just going to select the other one here, add a new material, pick a different color, right? I'll just go for maybe this color right here. So all you need to do is just to go to your transmission and set width to 1, same as the other one. Go to transmission, set width to 1. So it's going to have this light through kind of effect. You can see, right? You can see how light can pass through it, right? So that's just all. You can also just play with your roughness, decrease it a bit to give it a little bit more shininess to your material. You can see this one, right? You can see. So when you play the roughness, the lesser the value, the more shiny your gel looks. So just play with the values to get whatever you'd want to. Do you get? So you can do this as well. Go with the roughness, take it down a bit. Can you see, right? Something like this. So I'll just say this is fine. And you can also add to your plane. You can pick any material, right? You want to make it this darker. You can make it more shiny or more metallic to have this reflective surface, depending on what you would want, right? So let's go to our layout. Let me go to the shading tab here, and when I press play, you can have your jelly falling down, right? Yeah, so that's how to quickly create the rigid body system. You can go ahead and set the camera and render, right? So I have a video on how to render in the previous tutorial. So so that brings us to the end of this soft body physics. So if you have any question, shoot a question in the comment section. So we're just going to quickly run into the next physics, which is the cloth physics. So I'm just going to create a new project right here, file, new, general. I'm going to save this, right? So for the cloths, I'm going to delete this cube, shift A, bring a mesh. You can just scale it up a bit, right? And then shift A, let's add a UV sphere, right click to shade smooth, and you can just bring it up a bit, G to grab, bring it up a bit on the Z axis, right? So you can also just duplicate this plane, shift D on the Z axis, and just scale this down a little bit. Yeah, so basically what we're seeing right here, I'm going to change this to random. So what we're seeing right here, so this top plane, this one is for my clothes. This is going to be a collision object. This is also going to be like a ground floor collision object, right? Yeah, so so let's just go right into it, right? So let's select the plane, which is our fabric. Let's go to the physics panel and add a cloth physics right here. So select your sphere. So for this one, you're not going to add a cloth physics, you're going to add a collision object. Select the plane and add a collision. So when we simulate now and press play, we have our clothes falling, but it's very stiff because just like rigid body, it also needs a more geometry to simulate. So when we go to edit mode, right, you're going to see we have just 4 points. So it's already selected. Just right click to duplicate it, right? You can come down here to the subdivide options right here and increase the number of cuts that you want. So like I said, the more geometry, the better simulation you get, and the more heavier it's going to be on your computer. But the less geometry, the less quality you get for your simulation. So I'm just going to like manually just type in maybe like 15 right here, right? Let me just go with 25. Let's go with 25, right? So this is okay for me. I'm just going to go to my edit mode, see it down here, go back to frame 1, which I should have been. So let's press play now and simulate, right? And you see your basic clothes simulation, right? I'm just gonna like reduce my end frame to probably like maybe 120 ish. So yeah, this is fine. So now we have this basic clothes simulating. So let's try that again. We're just gonna pause this here and right click to shade smooth to make it smooth, right? But it's still not perfectly smooth, so just go to add your subdivision surface, SUB subdivision surface, right? Change the viewport to 2 so you can see it's more smoother, right? So let's see the before and after. Look at the before, okay, after, right? So we add some high level detail to your fabric. Yeah, so let's see that again. Press play to drop that drape. Very basic drape. Okay, so next thing, go to your physics tab. We have what we call like cloth presets in Blender. So when you select your clothes, when you click on this burger menu right here by the right side, you're going to see a preset called, you see cotton, denim, leather, rubber, and silk. So when you just click on this particular preset, right, it changes the figure down here. Let me do that again. Let me select denim. You can see different figures are changing in the parameters. So this is going to affect the behavior of your fabric. So it just gives like a quick template to something. So this is silk, right? So let's go for leather. Leather is usually harder, so you can see the behavior. You can see it's quite different. This is how leather behave in real life. Yeah, so that's what the preset does. So for now, we're just going to work with cotton for this project. So let's go with cotton. So we have just our basic fabric here. So you see something, and the fabric is penetrating through itself, right? You can see this here, right here. So we need to check what's called self collision. So just scroll down on the physics panel, right? Scroll down, just go to collision, scroll down, and then you're going to see self collision. Make sure you check that box, and then let's simulate again to have this so properly, so you can see there is no cloth penetration happening. Okay, so for cloth simulation, right, most of the settings are done through the presets. So except you actually know what you're tweaking, you can come to play with your quality steps, your tension, your shear, your bending, which affects how the material is going to behave. But Blender has made it very easy by providing us with like 5 presets, which are basically most of what we will be using most of the time when working with cloth physics, right? So and that makes the work very easy for us, right? So the next thing to do, which I'm going to show you, is how to create a vertex group, like to create a pin in your cloth physics. So for example, if I want to hang this cloth, right, a cloth hanger, right, I need to create like a pin where whereby I'm telling the software to hold this fabric at a certain point, and then the other parts can fall down, obeying the law of gravity. So how do we do that? So it's just very simple. So select your cloth fabric, press your tab to go to the edit mode, switch to your face selection, right, and just select any point in your fabric. So I'm just going to pick somewhere in the middle, right, and go to your object data right here and add a vertex group up here, right, and you could name it if you want. For me, I can just double click, name it pin, right, and then click on this assign. It's very important you click this assign button, else it's not going to work. So go back to your object mode and go to your physics panel, back to the cloth. So just scroll down to shape, look for shape down here. We have shape here, opened up that shape. So you see what is called pin group. So that pin group is where you're telling the cloth simulation to hold this part and don't move, and the rest part can fall to obey the law of gravity, right? So just click on this black box right here and you see your pin which you've created, and just click on that pin. So now when we play our simulation, right, every other part is going to fall except that part. Can you see this? Can you see this? So that's how that works. You can see. So one more thing, you can basically animate this fabric using the pin group. So the pin group drives the animation of all the other surface of the mesh. So how do we do that, right? So let's start on my frame 1. Select your plane, press I to set a keyframe, right, and then when I move it to, maybe let's move it forward like frame 40 or anywhere, right? So I can just press G to grab and just move it anywhere in the space. Basically, it's going to have this distorted feel. Just move ahead, press I to set a keyframe, move your timeline somewhere else, just G to grab and just move it forward to any place you'd like in your scene, right? And press keyframe. Just ignore this distortion you have here, just ignore it, but set your keyframe and pressing I. So we have 3 keyframes, and you can just take it to the last part and maybe probably just bring your fabric back to the middle, right, and set a keyframe. Or you can just select this key, Ctrl C, and just Ctrl V it here, right, which is okay. So let's take it back to frame 1 and play. Let's see what we have here. You see we have a cool animated fabric, right? So it's being controlled by the pin group. Yeah, so that's how you can do like maybe a car reveal animation with this particular kind of system, right? You can pin a particular aspect of the fabric and animate it to pull the fabric off the car. So that's that. So let's do a quick flag effect. So I'm going to show you how that works. So I'm just going to go to the pin group and just delete it, right? So I have no pin group in this flag animation. I'm going to delete my keyframe, right? So I'm just going to press R to rotate on the x-axis 90 degree, right? So when I press simulate, I have this falling down, right? Okay, so take it back to frame 1. So and then just go to edit mode. Let's create a new pin group, right? So select just this face and hold shift, select this face, and then you can go to your vertex object data vertex group and add a new pin group and assign. So we're basically assigning this to pin as a new pin, right? So go back to your edit mode. So for this tutorial, I'm just going to delete this particular one. I don't need any anymore. Just delete them, right? Yeah. So when I press simulate, it doesn't work. So I have to go back to frame 1, select the fabric, go to the physics panel, and go down to the shape and choose that new pin group that I created, right? And select that. So when I press play now, everything falls aside those pin go up there. So since I'm going to make a flag, right, I think the texture should be like a silk material. So I'm just going to go to the presets and choose a silk, so it's more softer and blows through the wind. So we have this now, but now there is no wind in our scene. How do we create a wind, right? So stop your animation, take it to frame 1, shift A to add a force field, go down force field, add a wind. So we're gonna have a wind here. So this wind basically have like an arrow, this arrow right here, showing you where the wind is going to blow, like the wind direction. So I want the wind to blow towards this axis. So I'm just going to select the wind and press R to rotate, probably on the y-axis, and either I can move it manually or 90-degree, right? Enter. So it's going to blow towards this direction. When I press play, nothing is still working. So we are going to play with the strength of the wind. So when you go to your physics tab and the wind is selected, just go to the strength and increase the strength. So let's say 500, and let's play and see what we have here. So you can see the wind is affecting our fabric. So that's how to make a very quick flag or a fabric blowing in the wind, or like a cape of a superhero, right? So I'm just going to extend this my timeline to like maybe 250, so it blows longer. And when I increase the strength of the wind to like 1000, right, it's still going to affect the clothes. Take it back to frame 1 and play again. You can see the wind blowing in the clothes, in the wind. You can see the clothes blowing it. Oh my goodness. Hey. You can see the fabric blowing hard in the wind, right, according to the strength of your wind. So just play with that and see what you could create. So when you play with the noise amount, you could just maybe use the value of 10. It gives a randomization of how the wind blows. Do you understand? Yeah, so this gives us a simple wind effect. So of course you can add a fabric to your wind. So I can just go select my plane, go to the shading mode. So I can just add a new material. Let's make a Nigerian flag. Select the green color, right, take it down here, and then I'm just going to add the white by just going to edit mode. I can just marquee select the middle part, something like this, and go to material tab here, click on this plus to add a new slot, add a new slot here, which is already white. So once it's selected, which is fine, just click on assign and you have your white. So when I go back to my layout and I go back to object mode, right, oh, it's not visible here. So go to the shader tab here and you can see our green, white, green Nigerian flag. When I press play, we have this sweet Nigerian flag blowing through the wind for freedom. Yeah, so this brings us to the end of the soft body and the clothes simulation. So of course for the clothes simulation, you can also go to the cache and bake it as well. You can see cache here. You can choose your timeline and choose bake, right? When you bake this, you don't have to wait for a long time, and when you play, it plays in real time. You can see it's as simple as that. So just explore this simple basic clothes simulation in Blender and just tell me what you think. You have any more complex questions, and you can just share it in the private group or in the comment section. So see you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Cheers.